So Mr. Bobby Coar, the great painter from Patterson, whose works are on public buildings and stuff.
Okay.
How did Zizzo get in touch with you to do this?
Actually, Joe the tow truck. Take two.
Oh.
Joe the tow truck driver.
Joe.
That's actually, it's not
like
easy.
in Toto too, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
in Toto too. Joe the tow truck driver. Tow truck driver.
Okay.
Yeah. He just knew that Zizzo was opening here. He used to do tows for Zizzo, and somehow, I don't know, the other sign guy didn't show up or something, and one day he saw Joe at breakfast and he just told me, come on up. Tony's a really good guy to work for. They did the whole front of his building. I don't know if you want to go out and get some shots.
Yeah, I found out last night. We were talking about this work at Jeremy's bar last night, and I didn't know you had done the cars in the front, which I'm going to be getting shots later on.
Yeah, so I've been with Tony for a while, so it's actually, I don't mind giving my good customers a little bit extra. Okay. I found out there's a whole bunch of bikers that hang over there.
Oh yeah, that's the club.
Now I'm going to have to do this motorcycle to the T.
Yeah, that's good. And how long have you been doing painting, mural painting?
Well, I did my first mural in '84, and I did some free for the community for a while just to get, the hands-on. First one we did for free, and the guy tipped us $100 when it was done.
Was that the one with the boat and the seagulls and stuff?
No, that was that's another one. That was first. Oh, the Viking. Yeah, the Viking ship.
Right.
It was a boat actually, because they did another boat later. Yeah, that was the Viking. And I don't know. I love a good wall. Really, it's like, I paint on different surfaces. I paint like all kinds of things, but there's something about doing a wall mural. It's what I really like.
Well, the technique goes back to the Middle Ages.
Yeah,
Sistine Chapel stuff.
Yeah. It's the very first thing they did was cave painting. They did on walls, but I don't know about all that. I don't think about it like that way in a way. I think about it like there's something about doing your painting real big outdoors in everybody's face. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody's gotta recognize it. Everybody's gotta deal, and people deal with it in really cool ways. But it's like, you could do big, like, people do big things in their studios with the triptychs, and they hope a museum will one day exhibit them for like a 2-month window period. I don't know. It seems to me if you're going to paint a big painting, you might as well make sure it's on display all the time.
Right.
So you paint them outside, And
you have any problems with the weather?
No.
Or anything?
My first ones have faded a little bit. I used to thin the red out too much. Over the years, you learn the techniques, and this is one-shot paint. This stuff is like about the toughest little enamel you can get your hands on.
Okay.
It's reasonably priced, but it's good. It holds up, especially if you double coat it. So what I always try to do, my preference, I like to undercoat the wall myself if I can. Put the first primer coats on. There's your other thing. You come up to a wall that's already been painted. You got one set of problems. You come up to like a nice, barren cement, just freshly made wall, and you got, you're like on, so I do like a real light base coat the first time, whatever it is I'm gonna work in. If I go work in latex, I'll work in latex, because there's some tough latexes. I let the sun get really hot on that wall. I let the wall go till like 6 at night. When it's really like baking, I come in and I lay a nice thin coat on with a roller. And I let it just like wet into that wall. Because what they used to do with the frescoes.
Frescoes.
I can't do painting that fresh. Because they used to do the frescoes were like strips, and when you start getting on something like this, like that fade is hard to do, Because by the time you're like painting this color over here and you're on this side, and you get the second wet color to fade, this thing's already tacking up from that sun hitting it. But you want to do it when it's hot, because I have a theory about the molecular structure of paint. And everything. But you know how like molecules, they're further apart when it's hot, they're moving faster?
Yeah.
I think that what happens when you paint when it's hot, because if you paint something like it's cold metal, it'll just peel right off.
Right, that's right.
I think what happens when it's hot is the molecules of the paint are further apart, and the molecules of the wall are further apart, and I think the paint actually like alchemically fuses with the wall. They actually become one thing.
Okay.
And that's why, you know, so I try to use heat as much as I can when I lay my base coats down. And paint seems to like it, you know. It's
That's
almost
good.
like letting it melt into the wall.
It's more durability than it'll last.
Yeah. And then you do the indoor ones in the winter, you know.
Yeah.
But I haven't done a mural in 2 years, and now I got like 7 in a row this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
It comes in spurts.
Yeah, very much, you know.
Wow.
I just did a Machu Picchu piece down in Patterson for a Peruvian restaurant.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. It was
City of Clouds or City
Yeah.
of Man or something like that.
It was like
Yes.
6 feet high by like 13 feet wide. I had to work.
Very good.
It was a nice indoor wall, and it started, there was like a, you know, paneling with a chair guard about here, so that, you know, it's actually a nice eye level kind of thing. You know, I'm usually slow in the winter. 2 winters ago, I had a winter that was better than my summer. You know, it didn't make any sense. I always get by on it, you know. Sometimes I did a gig one time, I made $800 for a day's work. I made $100 an hour one day, yeah.
Very good.
It's like, can't beat it, yeah. I'm already like booked, man. I got one down in Dumont, I got one in Ridgewood, 2 indoor jobs. I'm like,
That's excellent.
it's been a good year.
That's a good sign with the economy and stuff, that people have the money to put out for artwork,
Yeah,
murals, for
people
businesses.
got money. So it's getting into the right circles, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that can paint. You know, then I got to start thinking, like, what is it that makes me different, sets me above the pack? You know, the other thing is, like, I always show up when I say I'm going.
Oh, that's probably the best thing there is. That
Yeah.
the word gets around. This guy is dependable. He shows up.
And he shows up and he's like courteous and he tries to, you know, but and that's how I always try to work with the customer, man. 'Cause,
That's
I
probably
mean, I don't take no
all they
bullshit,
want.
you know what I mean? But
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people out there. They say, yes, I'll be there. I'll do this for you, and nothing gets done. Absolutely nothing. And those type of people probably, they do so much bullshitting in their life that they don't go nowhere.
yeah, well, I don't know. I see a lot of them doing all right, or you know, you're always bumping into people. You know, that's another thing. You're bumping into people like, oh man, we just paid this guy and he screwed it up, and could you give us a break on it? You know, and you're like, well, wait a minute. You know, you would have come to me in the first place. I could have made what you paid the guy, and you would have got it done right. You know, but I can't. I don't know. Just that whole. One of the famous ones, man. I don't get it so much anymore because I've moved out of the, you know, I used to do a lot of signs at Patterson, man. Worked for a lot of like quasi-mafioso bars and stuff, you know, I mean, all kinds of weirdness. The famous, yeah, well, you know, do it cheap and I'll give you a lot of work. And then one day I was like, you know, wait a minute. If I do it cheap and you give me a lot of work, I'll be working cheap all the time.
Yeah.
The guy was like, well, I was like, yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I've been in this business 12 years. I just figured that out, man.
We'll give you a free meal. Sit down here. Here's a.
Well, I'll
here's
tell
pasta.
you, restaurant works nice, you know. You get a lot of free meals, and you know.
You find your styles change over the years in different types of paintings and stuff.
You know what it is. I think I have a basic style. You know, I have a basic style, and then I like to let it run with the subject matter. Like when I did Machu Picchu, I didn't do anything nearly as tight as what I'm doing because this is mechanical, so there's a certain, but basically my style is like blend and line, you know, that's what I do. It cuts production time down. You know, you get into like Mel's face, there's no black on Mel, except a little bit on his wristband, you know, which is, there's a trick of like painting with no black. And then I didn't really use black. Yeah, I haven't really used black on here, just a little touch here and there. But I've been trying to avoid that. You see, I started to do it on here. I kind of began outlining it in black because the transmission to me isn't like a focal point or anything, so I'm just letting it sit back. But some murals you just line out if it's a cartoony kind of thing. There's different. It really depends on what you're doing. You know, I think your style should be adaptable to different jobs. I mean, I think if you're stuck in one style, you're going to be a pretty limited mural painter, and you're only going to be able to do certain things. But I've done Western murals in this style, and I've done knockout Western murals where I've actually outlined the horse with a cartoon outline later.
Okay.
And fundamentally, no, I don't think it's changed a lot over the years, but I think it's altered and come back around, and you know, it's run, you know. It's an interesting thing. Style's very weird, man. I don't know. I think a lot of them do. I know I do. I used to be very into like my style, you know, like what is going to be my style? When am I going to achieve my style? And,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes like worrying about style is your style.
Yeah,
You know?
that's true.
Style's a tricky thing, though, man. It's really hard to ask, I think, an artist about his own style. I think I know, you know, the way I paint, and a lot of like, you know, so far accepted artists or gallery artists or, you know, guys I know, you know, they kind of consider me quaint in a way, or they seem to play it off to my face that they do, you know, and I feel, the way I paint, I feel like John Wayne one time said, nobody seems to like my acting but the people. You know? I thought these were brake lights. They turned out to be exhaust vents.
Yeah.
So I gotta go over them now. I'm trying to just build this bumper a little so I can chrome it out, get it finished, get the car done.
You said the other day that you were searching for a certain type of car and you found it. A friend.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because Tony Zizzo, the guy who owns this building, Zizzo's Auto Repair, reasonable prices, guaranteed work.
Best auto mechanic is Jack.
Hey Jerry, what's the story?
That's right.
He came up with the idea, you know, that he just wanted a bay door open, and he wanted to maybe do some 1950s, you know, I don't know. We started talking it out, we came up to 1950s. So I did a little sketch, and I didn't know what car it was, but I had an ideal of the kind of car that I wanted. I ended up going to the Memorial Day parade, trying to find the old cars and chasing all over the place, and we finally found this 57 T-Bird. It was up on Route 23, and I went up one day, just like left another job, took a 2-hour break, ran up there, snapped photos, and it was really weird because when we got the photos back and I laid it back to the car that I just did imaginarily out of my sketch, they turned out to be really, really similar. It was almost as if this were the car. But finding this car delayed the whole project about a month because I wasn't going to work until I had a photograph of the perfect car.
Wow.
And now it's been haunting me ever since. But tomorrow I'll be done. And then I get to drive myself completely insane on that motorcycle over there. His knee again?
Changed his knee?
Yeah, I brought his whole leg up. I gave him more leg.
Okay. So James Dean there was pretty small.
Yeah, well, he had this big balloon head.
Ah, well, it's the hair. The hair makes it look big.
Yeah, actually it was, because the shoulders were too small. So you know what? Good play. So,